In 2005, I was only married about 2 years. We had moved to Mississippi. I was actually at a small little college there. My health was in a really bad place. We were struggling. I loved where we were, the people, our church, so many friends that are still dear friends to us, but things were not okay. I want to talk today about your work and what you're doing, because there's some great jobs out there, but the true stats, 70% of Americans hate their job. Think about that. And are you one of those? How can you be someone that loves what you do, no matter what it is? And the biggest thing is just that heart shift of learning to be where you're at. But what if where you're at's not where you're supposed to be? So in 2005, I had the opportunity to switch from what I'd been doing, which was admissions counseling and IT. And I was doing director of online education and all these things that were away from what I had gone to school for, what my passion was, my heart was, and even I would even dare say my calling. And I got a chance to teach a class, 2 classes actually. And I came home the second day of class and went, Kelly, I love this. I found something that I didn't even know existed. And what was really weird is I'd been teaching for years, dating classes and marriage retreats and seminars and stuff, but never realized what that was and how much I loved doing that. And so we got excited, but my health was bad. I was stuck on my dissertation. I had done all the research, had all the results back, and was really struggling to finish. And we had just found out we were expecting our first baby, which was a miracle and a surprise, and I was so excited. And then Hurricane Katrina hit. Kind of sounds familiar to today with what we're going through, but everything kind of stopped. And what's wild is when we think back on that time, it was an incredible time. A journey together. Our house was hit some. We had damage. We had no power for weeks. We had no sewer. We were kind of stuck, but again, an adventure. Both our cars were down to near empty, so we were in those lines trying to get gas. And so once things resumed, I went back to work, teaching, loving this, pivoting a little, and then I was actually asked if I would actually not see any more clients and just focus on the IT and online education, which was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, because it was in that moment that I realized, no, that's not the direction I felt called to, or even my gifting. I enjoy it. I work hard and I can learn this stuff, but it was not me. Within a few weeks, we turned in resignations, and at the end of the semester over Christmas, packed up and moved, did the unthinkable. We moved to Texas in with my mom and dad, and that was a key moment of transition where they gave us that breathing room for all these things to happen that we couldn't have controlled, that we couldn't have known, but we had to take the risk. We went from owning a house to getting it on the market and selling it. Baby was born, and so our son Alex was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. And then I was able to finish my dissertation and graduate and defend everything and pass. And we had been reaching out looking for jobs, and I ended up with my first official teaching job full-time in Georgia. All these things in a matter of 6 months. When we surrendered, when we gave up our control and we took a risk, we actually literally packed up a U-Haul and left Mississippi with no jobs in place. Moved out of desperation in terms of faith. Lord, we know you're going to do something in this. There's all these pieces that kind of came together. 6 months later, we find ourselves moving to Georgia, taking a teaching position, and everything changed. My health started improving, and our marriage was amazing. We had Alex, dissertation was done, I was Dr. Gilbert. All these things. Are you willing to take that risk? Are you willing to do those things that it takes to get you unstuck? Sometimes it's not necessarily changing your job. Sometimes it's actually changing your heart towards what you do. I know so many people that have spent years working the same job, and they don't necessarily love that job, but they love what it does and what they can do with it. Because sometimes it's a really high-paying job, and it gives them the freedom to serve and to invest in others. For others, it's just a job, and that's okay too, if the rest of our life is put together in the right place. But for a lot of people, our job is bad and my life is not okay. My marriage is suffering. My kids are suffering, and none of this is acceptable. And I want to kind of raise the bar for you a little bit to think deeply about what's your goal? What do you really want? Or what's the point of even being here? Just to pay a mortgage and pay all the bills and just survive? Or is it bigger than that? What if it is about something much bigger than that? What if there's even a calling on your life that could change everything for you, that could put you in a very different position where your skills and your gifting is used even more extensively, where you could actually make a bigger impact? All of you listening have different skill set and hearts and passions, and I believe that each one of those has unique places. But how often we settle. How often we settle for something lesser than because it's comfortable, because it has insurance, because the kids got into a good school, not for necessarily the reasons that we probably should. I'm thankful for the example my parents gave me as a young kid, where they walked away from everything and went into the ministry, went into missions, and moved overseas. It took us to a foreign country. A few years ago, I visited Costa Rica, and I was about the age my mom and dad would have been when they took 3 little kids over. And I came back just, wow, you did this? How crazy is that? And to be thankful for them, willing to take the risks, willing to go from whatever pay it was that they were getting years ago down every time, because the economy of just life was not based off my income. It was based off my impact, or their impact. And I remember, I think my dad's first pay raise was in his 50s or even 60s. It's kind of wild to think about that. And that's at the same time, how do you define success? How do you find success for your marriage, for your family, for your kids? And I think we need to lay all that on the table and think about that. Think deeply. What I would like to do is I'd love to get on the call with you. I'd love to talk with you and help you brainstorm and build that, to do just that. If you are someone that's stuck, let's get you unstuck. If you're someone that's just doing and you're afraid to take some of those risks, let's help you develop that plan to take those risks. I would love to see you, in the matter of even 90 days, completely transform your family, your marriage, your future. And this isn't just haphazardly taking some risk. This is very intentional and calculated. It's not taking these risks with huge costs, because we need to be smart with our family and with the responsibilities that we have as well. And so I would love, to get on the call. You can go to bookdrg.com and find a time to talk with me. I would love to spend some time just kind of brainstorming and seeing if you want that help, for me to walk alongside you to change everything for you. Because I cannot thank those that taught me and those that advised me to take those risks, because of where I am today as a professor at a university and full-time now. I think I'm going on 15 years. Because that would add up on the 2005 time. And then I've also been in private practice for 20 years and love that, speaking, coaching, teaching, doing the things that I do. And I'm so thankful for those that kind of lit that spark and pushed many different mentors and advisors along the way, and my wife's parents and my parents as well, which are key factors that we'll talk about coming up. So bless you, bless your marriage, and may you transform your family and love what you do. Thank you for tuning in to the Family Features Podcast. It has been an honor to serve. Find out more about Dr. Gilbert and his resources for you and your family's growth and success at healinglives.com. And if you think you could use some support along the way, be sure to book that call at bookdrg.com. And one more thing, if you found this helpful, please share this podcast with others so that we can change the world together.